So the book that I chose to do my book talk on is Gobble, the complete list of Thanksgiving words, written by Linda Graham Barber and illustrated by Betsy Lewin. And it fits into my theme of celebrations and rituals because it's all focused around the holiday of Thanksgiving and what that holiday means to us as Americans and the history behind it and how it's traditionally celebrated in our country. And so it can almost serve as a Thanksgiving glossary or like reference book for the vocabulary associated with the Thanksgiving holiday, because in the table of contents, which you can see here, it lists out 38 words that are all associated with the Thanksgiving holiday that that kind of come to mind when we think about Thanksgiving and how we celebrate that. And for each word, there's a little anecdote that explains the definition of the word and how it pertains to the holiday. And they're fun little short reads for the students that are pretty entertaining, fun to read. And the first page kind of has a really good example of the tone of the book. And it says, "Hear ye, hear ye. We celebrate Thanksgiving Day, giving thanks on the fourth Thursday of November. Celebrating the harvest is a fall tradition." So here you can see the illustrations that go along with that. And then from there, it goes into the different words, starting with Thanksgiving Day. And there's usually a different word on every page. Like I said, they're only about a page or a page and a half long. So that's pretty nice. And then to give an example of what those little passages are like, I'm going to read about the word landing. So, landing. From Old High German lant and Old Irish land, both meaning open space, evolved the English word landing, the action of coming to land. There are many different kinds of landings. The Pilgrims made a nautical landing off Plymouth, and airplanes make landings on airships. The flat part at the bottom of a staircase is also known as a landing. Wilma made a graceful landing when, after leaping down 10 steps, she landed on her feet on the stairway landing. On Monday, December 12th, they sounded the harbor and found it fit for shipping, and marched into the land and found divers cornfields and little running brooks. This description of Old Plymouth Plantation is the only eyewitness report of the famous landing of the Pilgrims on Plymouth Rock. This account of the landing took place not from the Mayflower, which was still anchored almost 30 miles away in Provincetown, but from the small shallop. There's been friendly rivalry for years as to which pilgrim first stepped out of the sloop. Recorded notes give us no clues. Any notion of Pilgrim Mary Chilton being the first out of the shallop is not taken seriously by historians. Descendants of John Alden claim he was the first. The foundation for both these claims are word-of-mouth stories passed among the Chiltons and Aldens from generation to generation. We do know for certain that no women were part of the group of 34 that first scouted the area. Women and children, and the men not with Captain Standish, stayed behind in the Mayflower until the first shelters were ready. Then passengers were ferried across in the shallop. Even then they had to wade into the icy waters, which contributed further to the later prevalence of pneumonia. It wasn't until the third week in March that all the pilgrims made it to land. So there's the passage and definition on the word landing. It's about a full page altogether, so not too bad in length. Something else really cool about this book is that it can actually be used as a historical source. There are some historical documents included in the book, such as the Mayflower passenger list, which is pretty neat. And then there are a few others and some little questions like this that say, do you know? And then they have like a little fact or a little tidbit having to do with the Pilgrims and Plymouth Rock. So it would be a really great resource for students who are writing about the holiday um, to use in their papers and their essays as sources for that. It's not necessarily a book that, as a teacher, you would want to sit down and read all in one sitting, but it could be really great as a sort of refocus, calm down activity after lunch or recess, or even a countdown to the holiday to kind of get students excited if you're doing a unit about Thanksgiving or November's coming up. It could be really great as a countdown. So in each of those activities, this teacher could kind of pick a different word each day and read through it and just kind of talk about each little story. So like I said, they're the perfect length for that, and fun little quick entertaining read for students to get them excited and learning about the holiday of Thanksgiving.